So, all right, we're going to get started with the collective read. Good morning, well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I'm the Grace Rega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Wednesday, November 30th. I gotta tell you, yesterday's reading was pretty wacky, mostly because we've ended both days, both Monday and Tuesday. The final conclusive card was King of Cups, which was really remarkable, and is saying to me that there's a lot of shifts happening right now, particularly around masculine energy, bearing in mind that that's not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. And we like that a lot because, particularly with the King of Cups, for me, I see that the blending of the two ideal blendings of the feminine and masculine energy is in the Queen of Wands. So we see a feminine energy that is embodying masculine qualities with dexterity. And we also see the King of Cups, which is a masculine energy embodying feminine energy with dexterity, which is what we really want. So I'm really curious to see where the cards are going to bring us today as it relates to the read. So with that said, let's dive right into it. Let's find out what is coming towards you today in the spread. May I please get 5 cards to start with? I'm seeing today a lot of good signs around the world, like around the world around you right now. So this is beautiful too, because whenever we see the 10 of Pentacles, this is talking a lot about industriousness, but also the completion of cycles. For me, a lot of you are moving forward now on new paths because of the opportunities that are around you with these paths. And really huge sign today that a lot of the things that you're doing are going to relate about moving yourself into these new avenues, and that anything you do in this area today is going to yield a lot of success. So whenever I see this card, it's always kind of a sign to me like, send the email today, get to the organizing today, make those, get down to your to-do list, because everything is going to be working very well in your favor when we see a card like this as we're starting our weekly spread. Can I also see right now, I'm also seeing, this is really interesting, feminine energy right now we are seeing is moving into a place of, I want to say surrender, but it is a chosen surrender, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel aligned to. So this is also a sign that, whatever, I feel like feminine has been in a place where they felt like they've really had to defend themselves to a certain extent over the last few days. Today, we're seeing that easing. And I think that also it's no coincidence that that's also because of this new attention back at the world at large. So in a way, particularly for feminine energy right now, we're seeing that feminine is kind of concentrating on the areas right now in their life that they know that they can push forward, because they don't want to, there's an exhaustion point, as it were, around feeling that they need to defend themselves, feeling that they need to hide, and understanding that feminine doesn't need, like anything that's for feminine, they shouldn't have to be putting up so many firm boundaries on. So feminine's really kind of allowing things right now to stay in their life or move through their life right now that are not conflict points, because those areas are there. This is also a good sign to masculine right now that the feminine energy near you right now is going to be less adversarial. I will be honest. Hot tip for the masculine, those who are more masculine inclined, that there is a scenario right now where the feminine energy is kind of more on a recess, as it were, from being as combative. So, if there is some kind of block in some way around communication or things around the feminine energy right now, this could be a good sign that today you're going to be able to make a little bit more headway than you may have previously around that energy. Moving through, we are continuing. I will point out, I do see some people coming through for personals. I will start keeping a list there. I think we'll have time to do those, so no worries there. Let me just make a note because I did see somebody coming through. But we will continue. You guys are so funny with the comments. What else do we see coming through right now today is also, oh my goodness, feminine energy today. Guys, I need to point out, yesterday was weird. We saw the energy was weird. People were not sure what to do with it. People were not sure about connections. I see particularly for feminine energy today, there is really this energy of set it and forget it, or just like surrendering to the circumstances at hand, particularly because there's so much going on right now in the world that is more on a positive incline. We are having our center card today being the Queen of Cups, which we love because this is the counterpart to the King of Cups that we have been seeing on repeat the last 2 days. So I'm feeling like feminine is now moving into the space now where they're feeling more open, they're feeling less guarded, they're getting back in touch with their emotional heart space. And I think that this is why we're also seeing, again, this less confrontational attitude today. And we're also just recognizing that I feel like feminine's getting into the space because they're concentrating more on the things that they need to push forward for. Haven't seen the masculine energy yet. I'm sure they're going to pop up. But this is all looking really good, particularly for feminine energy today. What else is going on today? Next card is the Fool. So again, feminine energy really doing well, but in general, everyone is kind of in this vibe today where you're moving into all of these new things. Did you hear what I said? Cycle complete, new cycle starting. And a lot of you are really using today to embrace this new journey, to take these steps into these new opportunities and these new avenues that are around you, which we love. We're totally good. This is also a good sign today about taking risks. You know, there may be some things today that you have been thinking about doing, but you weren't 100% sure as to whether to move forward with or not. Today is a day that is a reminder to say you can take these risks because, again, you're doing them for the best reason possible. This is a very safe risk, as it were, because it's like almost like a soft landing is already kind of guaranteed to a certain extent, depending on the avenues that you're forging ahead on. So allow this to be your confirmation that today, if there's something that you want to start or some new avenue that you want to traverse, now is the time. The next card for the conclusion of our 5-part spread is, woof, that is too many cards, but we're going to read them. Sorry. Here's the thing, even with this new energy, I do feel this is the hesitancy that we saw yesterday, right? This is that hesitancy that we saw yesterday. So yesterday we saw a big focus on connections and not being sure about how to move forward on those connections. Now I see less of an attention on that particular connection that might not be working out. Just turning your attention to like what is working in your life. The big decision right now is what to do or where to go. There is this indecisiveness right now. I think a lot of you are either feeling kind of not really feeling super eager to get out there right now, but it's not for lack of desire. It's lack of knowing. You're in a place right now where you're focusing very much on where you want to direct your energy next. And I like this because it does represent that you are kind of ready to get back out into the world. You are ready to start being more in these new decisions. You're ready to come out of this space where you feel like you've been very much isolated, but you're being very discerning on where or how or what you're going towards, because you don't want to make the same mistakes as the past. Particularly with the 7 of Cups in its transverse, we see here this idea that I feel like a lot of you are coming out of this period where you feel like you were deceived. You feel like there was some kind of deception that was thrown at you, and you're very careful and conscious now to make sure that you're not going to fall into the same traps, if you will, as it relates to where you direct your energy next. This can also be a decision on travel or where you want to go. So a lot of you are like literally like you're feeling kind of like you want to get out of your house, but you're not sure what you want to do. You're not really sure if you want to do the plans. It's really a very, we see here with the Fool, you know what this next step is, but you're feeling very indecisive as to which way to go in that new direction, right? So that's the trouble point today, is this feeling like I'm ready, but I'm not sure where to go. We can work with that. All right, we can definitely work with that energy. All right, we're going to start to clarify on the baseline of today. Can I please get okay. Again, really allowing cycles to complete, allowing things to be the way they are, embracing the world around you, and particularly for feminine energy, just like not putting up a fight, just letting something go. And when I say letting go, it's like you're really letting, the feminine energy is just kind of letting things go and being like, I've got more important things to worry about right now. Based on the karmic situation that everybody was overthinking or feeling some hostility towards yesterday. Why are you feeling like that, feminine? Well, the answer is pretty clear. Feminine's feeling like that because there is a feeling of predetermination or predestiny here around, particularly around the feminine energy. There is this desired idea or understanding right now that the things that are meant for you will not require you to fight for them. They won't require so much effort. They won't require you to protect yourself against them. They'll just allow you to be. And feminine, what I love about this energy right now is feminine's just kind of vibing in this moment with being like, what is not meant for me is not meant for me. If this energy, if another energy, if my counterpart is not on board with everything I'm doing or isn't like up for it, they're not my counterpart. And so feminine's really putting their faith right now in finding, particularly feminine, but also everyone, really moving into this space of trying to find the partnerships that not only allow the feminine to drop their guard, but also allow for a good life, a good merged life. And there's a lot of focus today for everyone on thinking about the partners or the counterparts that you can embrace life with and that you can move forward with in a functional way. And I do like this perception shift a lot, because we saw yesterday this heavy focus on a karmic situation that potentially wasn't working out and how to fix it. And I feel like today everyone is just like, or I could just let that go. I could just let that go and understand that the things that are meant for me are not going to have to be struggles. They're going to like welcome me with open arms. They're going to want to be a part of my life. And this is the energy that we're moving towards, which I am here for this. I am very much here for this. We've got this beautiful, I'm so surprised that masculine hasn't shown up yet, but maybe not. We'll find out in a moment. We had a lot of masculine coming forward the last 2 days. We see here that there's been a big shift in feminine right now. Feminine has dropped their guard and they're back in their emotional center, which we are here for. I would like to get some clarity on what's at the cause, like what's at the root of this. So let's find out. It's here, it's hidden. I kind of asked for it, right? I asked for it. So here it is. Why? It's because feminine has been dealing, and this is going to hit a little differently depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. Let's start with the masculine energy so we understand what we're seeing. I love that already people are in the comments, they're like, patience, right? Yes, patience. Exactly, Carly. Where's masculine in all of this? Well, this is where masculine is. Masculine energy, this is hitting a little different for you today because there's something going on right now, particularly as it relates to partnership and finding ideal partnership, that you're feeling a bit triggered today because you're feeling very unstable. And I don't mean that in a negative fashion. I really mean it with empathy, because what I'm trying to say here is masculine, while masculine is putting a renewed concentration on work and on their life and on the things they're trying to move forward right now, because masculine is feeling incredibly unstable about their work and about their life. And I think that this is the block right now that we're potentially seeing, or even though they are still thinking about partnership, this is also where the block is coming from right now. Because here we've got feminine who is just like open and ready to receive, and just kind of like whenever you're ready, and as long as you've got an apology, like maybe like that'll be okay, like it's cool. But masculine is so, I think that it's almost an intimidation point that's also happening here, because they feel to a certain extent resistant or unwilling to come towards a feminine who's in that energy, because they feel they're not in touch right now with the emotional center. And they feel like if they don't have some material success or some grounded solidity to offer something, then the feminine's not going to want them. But that is not the case. As we can see, this is not a feminine looking for something. This is a feminine looking for emotionality, looking to share experience. Whereas we've often seen this in the past, where the masculine is just very much focused on the material, on the dimensions, on like what they can hold in their hands, and being like, there's nothing I can bring forward to this energy, so I'm not going to reach out to it. And this, my friends, is where we constantly hit this issue between the two energies. But that's why they're different energies. We have to accept this. So for feminine, it's really just, it's trying to be open and empathetic for a masculine energy that potentially they feel is in this unstable place, but not necessarily trying to add to their instability, just kind of rolling and doing their own thing. Whereas masculine is just trying to really, I think, ground themselves and find that stable point again, because they are also very heavily, you're also very heavily thinking about partnership as well, masculine, just in a much more tangible way. Okay, we're going to clarify right now between this beautiful Queen of Cups and the Fool energy. So there is a feeling now of a kind of a new page, a new chapter, a new opportunity opening up for both energies. Though for feminine, it's more based on kind of their heart center. Whereas masculine, I feel like they may be looking more towards like tangible opportunities, like work opportunities, work possibilities, a focus on work. Can I get clarity between these two? Hidden card. Yeah, more than anything, there is a feeling right now. There is a feeling right now of being kind of on your own, out in the cold. I will say this is now giving some clarity to how the feminine's experiencing this versus the masculine, where the feminine is kind of feeling emotionally that they don't really have an emotional center, somewhere that can really house their emotional experience. This is what's causing them to move forward, because they're not finding that emotional connection that they're looking for. So it's a sad moment for feminine, but they're also trying to handle it spiritually in the best way possible by saying, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to continue down my path, even if that means new experiences. For masculine, this energy is hitting a little different, particularly because we see the fact that this is why they feel unstable. Masculine's also feeling this sense of abandonment, of being left out in the cold, but they're embodying it more. And they're feeling a bit more responsible. You're feeling a bit more responsible for that being the case, masculine. And I feel like a lot of the masculine energy right now is trying to figure out a new way to come forward after kind of like, I want to say like throwing yourself out the door, if that makes sense. Like you're the one that threw yourself out the door, and now you're trying to find a way to come back in. And I feel like you're almost looking for like some kind of tangible that you can use to allow yourself to be able to come in, because you're still being resistant to that emotionality, which is strange because we saw the emotionality entering the chat yesterday and the day before. Very, very curious. There's a bit of a shift happening here. All right, clarifying between this Fool energy, so this desire for everyone to move forward, but also this inability or uncertainty about how or where to go, with kind of putting everyone in this limbo, is, may I get one card, please? Whoa, that's more than one. Oh my goodness, masculine energy, what's going on? okay, this is going to hit a little differently depending on feminine or masculine. For feminine energy right now, there is a lot of, this is still the karmic overthinking that we saw yesterday, but now it's just kind of experiencing a situation where there is a connection to a masculine energy that may feel less than positive. And it's really just kind of trying to open your heart center up and accept the fact that there might be a masculine energy that's close to you that you are worried may not necessarily have your best interests at play. There may be too much over dominance, over this desire to take power over something instead of collaborating. And this is what the feminine energy is really mourning right now. They're kind of mourning the fact that they feel like, to a certain extent, this energy is not something that they can necessarily work with, because it's not rising to the challenge, if you will, of what feminine definitely needs right now. For masculine energy, this is more of this feeling of disempowerment. Masculine energy, and you know what it is? It's masculine trying to embody this feminine that's coming in, right? Because we saw the feminine energy coming into the masculine energy yesterday and the day before. But a lot of masculines are resisting this, and they're feeling that insecurity from a place of materialism instead of opening up their heart space, right? And so this is causing them to feel disempowered because it's making them feel weak. And so there is a moment right now for masculine energy where they may be over obsessing on loss and not thinking about what can be done to resolve that loss. So for the masculine energy today, I'm seeing that there's a lot of mourning that's happening as you try to figure out how to move forward. Just remember, masculine energy, something to help you as you go on this journey. This is a perception shift. Things are not as bad as they are. There are things to be saved if you turn your attention to the right perspective. Yeah, I always point out with the 5 of Cups, if this person turns 90 degrees, it's not a story of loss. It's a story of what can be salvaged. So this, I think, is to try to give masculine energy a little bit of hope today. Because while we see the feminine energy kind of getting more stable right now, we are seeing that masculine is kind of in a deficit right now and a frustration point about their own power as it relates to how they can move forward right now. All right, we are going to continue. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the shares and the follows. Clarifying right now between this Lover's energy and this King of Pentacles in its reversal. Big focus right now on this spiritual attunement in relationships, on the relationships that we want to move forward with, on these deeper spiritual connections. And while this is leading the feminine to be more vulnerable today, but in like less combative, it's really kind of sweeping the rug out of masculine energy, because I feel they just feel so unstable and grounded at the prospect of this to a certain extent. Because it's not based on the material. This is a connection of the spiritual. Getting clarity between these very big points is, whoa, that's more than one. Wait, something came up. Oh, this is why the masculine is so nervous. This is why this is what's happening, right? So this is the problem right now around the connection. So this is the whole problem in a nutshell right now around this spiritual connection. So for many, we're seeing the fact that there is a spiritual connection happening, right? There is a deeper spiritual connection. So whatever that karmic decision was yesterday, it is coming to terms with the fact that there is more of a spiritual connection here, but there's an anxiety and fear on parts of both of the people at play, masculine and feminine, on how that plays out. For the masculine, they're feeling unstable and ungrounded because they don't trust the feminine energy. They feel that the feminine energy is deeply connected to the spiritual, but they're worried about how the feminine could use that to hurt them, right? And this is what's creating so much anxiety right now in the material around the masculine. They're becoming, they accept this connection point, but there's this, did I say intimidated? I mean intimidated. Because there is a fear right now about the spiritual connection of the feminine and how that can play out, both for good or for ill. Mostly they're kind of worried about for ill right now. Like they're almost like and for some masculines, This is giving a lot of energy of someone who's like potentially afraid that like things are going wrong in their life because of the feminine, because they're not in connection with the feminine. And that's making them feel very unstable. But for the feminine, it's looking at a masculine energy and just trying to decide if there is a partnership here that's possible, because this energy that they feel connected to is so unstable, is so ungrounded, is not giving them any security or stability, or in fact seems to be trying to rip the material stability from the feminine. These two right now, this is driving me nuts. Do you guys see this? So like we've got an energetic connection here. Jesus, I can't make this up. We've got an energetic connection here. And the masculine is creating a materialistic, 5D threat to the feminine, right? And that's what's keeping the connection blocked, or the fear of that from the feminine. The feminine is like, I don't know if I can reach out to him because that, maybe that person is like literally not stable. They're not going to create the protective environment I need. Meanwhile, the masculine energy is like, I don't know if I can connect with the feminine right now because they're connected to spiritual so much, it frightens me a little. Like, it's like, I don't know if I can trust this. So this is like what's really happening right now between these two energies, which is very, I don't want to laugh, but I can't help but laugh because both of them, it's like the spiritual connection's there and it's creating a crisis point for both sides in the place that they typically are used to residing, which means both of them need to get like a little bit more on the other person's wavelength. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just reading the cards, folks. All right. We're going to try to get to the solution. I see the fact everyone's going, what's the solution? I would like to know too. I'm just the messenger. All right. We need to clarify this unstable. I would say right now, feminine needs to get into be a little bit more empathetic with the spiritual side. Masculine needs to be a little bit more empathetic with the security side. Everybody needs to be a kinder, but that's just me. All right, clarifying right now between this King of Pentacles reverse. So, and this everybody's feeling left out in the cold. I just want to point out, everybody's in the doghouse. Everyone put themselves in the doghouse. I hope everybody's happy being in the doghouse for a second, because that's really what's happening. But this is hitting masculine a little bit more, because I feel like feminine's out in the doghouse and she's just kind of going into her mind palace and emotionally opening up, where masculine's just like, I need to get back in, right? That's what's happening right now. Masculine's like, I need to knock on the door and get back in. How do we clarify? Can I get clarification on these 2 points, please? This is a funny reading. I got to point out, this is very funny. Everybody needs to stop with the third-party energy, folks. That's what needs to happen. Everybody needs to stop with the third-party energy. Okay? That's what needs to happen. Seriously, I feel like a lot of this was inspired from third-party energy, right? And I think that masculine is also accepting the fact that there's something about third-party energy that created this whole thing to begin with. Feminine, here's the thing. It's for both sides. I feel like feminine right now, here's the thing that's really happening. The feminine energy is out in the cold. They're feeling emotionally vulnerable, but I feel like that's the problem. They're focusing on this energy here because they're not interested in other third parties. That's the thing. They're just kind of like, yeah, I'm just sitting here focusing on this. This is what I'm focused on. This is my priority. So we see this. This isn't helpful, but it does clarify a lot. I feel like everybody's accepting that the reason there is this focus right now is everyone's kind of pointing and going this is the thing I want. What do we do about it? That's really the vibe. And I feel like this is also explaining that hermit that's transverse, because everyone's like, I've got things I could do. I got options. I don't really feel like I want to entertain any of them. I just kind of want to everybody just leave me alone kind of thing. Okay, we are going to continue with this very interesting vibe today. All right, clarifying right now between this Five of Pentacles energy, this everybody feeling left out of the cold. For masculine, it's feeling very disempowered and really just mourning the fact that they're there, not really turning attention on what could be done to resolve it. Feminine, just kind of feeling out in the cold, feeling like a masculine's kind of the result of that or the cause of that, this energy, and not really feeling like they can trust that masculine energy, but also kind of being caught in a place of like mourning it because they can't change the masculine energy, but they're still focusing on it. Can I please get one card to clarify, please? One card to clarify. That's two. It's fine. Nobody's feeling like everybody feels like it's unfair. That's what it's really coming down to. Everybody's feeling like it's very unfair, but they're also feeling really tired of waiting. Everybody is really exhausted waiting for what comes next. And it's this imbalance that we see both sides trying to deal with. Masculine is feeling this imbalance in the sense that they feel like a clock is ticking and that they're running out of options, and they are kind of like, I feel like masculine is feeling frustrated because to me, it seems like you're feeling this energy that like, you're not being given a lot of choice in this, right? And that in itself feels a little unfair. While as feminine energy is feeling like you're tired of waiting on this masculine energy, this potentially, this masculine energy that isn't really showing up for you the way that you hope that it will. And so you're really just concentrating. You're not reaching out and you're not doing anything because you realize that there's not much you can do about it. You're just trying to accept the fact that it's not fair and that you're tired of waiting. Okay. We are drilling down. This is a rough read today. I mean, it makes sense, but it's rough, okay? This energy, clarifying, listen, here's the thing. There's healing happening right now, guys. I know it doesn't feel like healing, but it is healing. Particularly for the feminine energy is going to feel the healing a bit more. But I will say the healing is happening for both sides. It's just being interpreted in different ways. Feminine is going to feel this healing a lot more today in their heart space. Because for the feminine, it's really kind of turning away from other options and really just choosing the self. I see a lot of feminines who may now be really just concentrating on themselves. It's like, I am now healing. No, I don't care about anybody. I'm just going to focus on this, like my Gal Friday here. I'm going to concentrate on my own spiritual path, because it's recognizing that all of these external situations and people have really been deviating you from your spiritual journey. And there is this need and attention right now to return to this, to get yourself back in spiritual alignment in order to heal. For masculine right now, I feel like there is kind of a reckoning. Oh, what was that? There was kind of a reckoning that was occurring. Thank you for the gift. Where you're understanding that you don't want third-party energy, but you are not in connection with the higher spiritual feminine energy that you want to be in connection with. And you're trying to heal from everybody. You've really kind of, masculine's gone on like inner lockdown right now. They're like, I'm just going to heal because nothing is working out. I feel like masculine had a bunch of options. Nothing's working out in their favor. So they're, instead of reaching out to anyone, they're just focusing on their healing, because there's a lot of anxiety and distrust and disappointment right now around the masculine energy and the feminine, which we want to work on, right? Like this, there is, we don't want the masculines. You can't, be there not trusting anything feminine. Like, that's not good. And we want you to embody this heart space more. But this is a healing act here, even now. Like, I feel like this is really saying that for a lot of masculines, they realize that there's they've kind of put themselves in a position right now with a lot of different energies around them, one of which might be very spiritual. And there is this need to kind of heal around all of it. So everybody's going into their mind palaces. I'm kind of okay with that. It is what it is. clarifying right now between the Three of Cups in its reversal. So like a lot of just kind of pulling away from anything, not really wanting to go out, not really wanting to do anything, just being like, I'll be alone if you need me. And also this feeling of unfairness and feeling like tired of waiting, feeling like clocks are ticking, you know, feeling like a lot of things, like too many different avenues or options explored. They're not yielding fruit, right? And it's like a recorrection point that's happening right now for everyone. I find very interesting. There it is. Why? Because everyone's having a life path moment. That's why. This is a really important moment for both feminine and masculine right now. It's just hitting a little differently. You know, I see for feminine, it's really kind of moving away from investing in other people and other things and trying to correct an imbalance in their lives right now. And I'm also seeing the same right now for masculine and feminine, saying like, you know what? People, I hate to say this, but this is what it's saying. Other people are the problem. Over worry or over concern with other parties is the problem. Of renewal and focus on one's own path and one's own experience is the solution right now. So this is that readjustment point that we see is occurring right now between both sides. Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Where did this come from? Hold on a minute. My cards got, okay, yes, there it is. Okay. Yes. All right. We're back. It took me a minute. Okay. So we're now reaching the conclusive card of the day. So we've got the final card for today to clarify between, I love this. This is a beautiful place for us to be moving into today, because these are the two cards that we are now reaching on like the actual script for today, which is the healing journey right now. And the healing journey being a part of the path, right? So today is definitely, the next 2 days are all about healing. The next 2 days are all about healing. Can I please get one card to clarify? All yielding. We love this. Generosity. We love this. Generosity. So I do see this beautiful, and I want to point this out. Everybody feeling like they were everybody's pulling out of certain things right now because they realize that they're not benefiting them. And there's the ultimate result is a refocusing of your energy on the things and the places that you truly want to put them, on the places that truly yield fruit, that truly nourish you, but also that nourish others around you. So all of this is really bringing you to a point where it becomes this act of care again and giving back as you heal, which I'm okay with. I think that that's a beautiful, it's like, what can I do? Like, that's the result. Like, what can I do to fix this, right? The question is what this is. That's going to be different for everyone. So, okay. In terms of bottom of the deck right now, bottom of the deck is, I feel like everyone is getting guidance right now to want to do something or to have to do something, and everyone's being very resistant to it, right? There's something that everyone is like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I should do. And so more than anything right now, I mean, listen, this is the thing. It's okay to feel like this. It's okay to, I feel like there's something you're putting off doing right now, which is probably what this is, right? Whatever this is going to be, this is a generous gift, right? This is a generous act. You're not there yet. That's why this is the center card. This is what the result's going to be. And for a lot of you, I think that you already kind of have hints. You're like, you know what? I should really do that. That's what I should do. But nobody's there today yet. Everybody's just thinking about it. They're like, but you know, everyone's being called to do that thing, and it's really coming to the point where everyone's going to be more accepting of doing that thing that's going to help free things up and move things forward in a positive way again. So, well, guys, that is our collective read. I gotta say, considering yesterday's read was like super weird, the energy was like much weirder, I'm good with this. I mean, like, listen, this is really showing today's going to be a good heart opening day for feminine energy, bearing in mind that's not based on gender, but what you feel called to. It's going to be a much harder day for masculine.